You guys are having a good day. We're going to be carving up some cardinals here in just a couple minutes. Going to throw a edge on the chains on the saws and stuff quick, and then we'll get carving. But we'll go over some chainsaw sharpening real quick, and then we'll carve up some cardinals. Hope you're all having a good Sunday. Oh, where's my block? Let's see. Well, that came down. So I got this block when I'm in the shop. We're out here in the tent. Got the jaw horse handy. Make sharpening chains a little bit easier. I'm going to use the file guides. Right now we're going to be running battery saws today, and all my battery saws have, if they've needed it, I've swapped them over to All right, we're back, I think. Cool. As soon as I go live, people start calling my phone. Never fails. Hey, Google. Hey, what's up? So anyway, I've got an MSA1, excuse me, I got an MSA 160, MSA 200, and an MSA 220 for battery saws. They run the Pro line AP series batteries. Like I said, the 200 and the 220, I believe, came with 3/8 sprockets, so I put quarter pitch on them because I like to run smaller bar and chain on these because I use them as detail saws. I'm not cutting firewood really or nothing like that. Morning, Barry. What's happening? So today I've got the quarter pitch 3-2 millimeter file guide. And all I'm gonna do is go through and hit these chains just real quick before we start carving. What I like to find though is the link that's either got a little paint on it, or sometimes you got a double link. In this case, we got a green one. I've got this board set up for usually the 250s or a little bit longer bars, so these just barely fit. But if you notice, the bar goes in here, this steps up just a little bit higher. And I don't have to use that log vise. That thing doesn't always, I don't really care for that. It's kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest. Put my weight on it. Now these aren't too horrible, but I will base off how many times based on the tooth. Usually it's about 2 or 3. If you guys don't know how to file, even if you're using a regular hand file, you always push through, lift out, push through, lift out. If you really want to get technical with filing and get into the real nitty-gritty of it, you should look up Buckin' Billy Ray. That's Buckin' with a B, all right? We've got a YouTube channel here. That dude can file a chain, that is for sure. He's got great tips. I know I have a lot of beginner carvers on here. You know, if you're learning to carve, or even if you're a homeowner and you're running your own saws, you can save yourself some money if you can just learn how to sharpen yourself. It'll save you money in the long run for sure. Let's see, where are we at? that's done. Sorry guys, got to do this. I got 2 more to do. So 220 1/4 inch sprocket, right? MSA 220 1/4 pitch sprocket, running a 14-inch bar, 1/4 pitch 43 gauge chain. 14 or 12? What did I put on this one? Sometimes I don't remember. I'm always switching stuff up. Let's see. What do we have? 12. So we're running a 12-inch bar on that. Saws like this, I like to take them down a size. They run faster, cut smoother, better for detail work in my opinion. So the 220's got a 12. We're running a 10 on the MSA 200. Pop that battery out just in case. Boy, that would suck, huh? I haven't sharpened this on here. The 10 doesn't really work. This works better when you got, you know, a 16, 18, 20 plus inch bar to hold it in place for you. This guy will just do this. But you can see how it moves. It can be a pain right in the butt. I don't think it's gonna reach if I stick the nose just in there. Let's see. You get a guy that logs or in tree service, gonna be like, well, I can't carry that wooden block around. No, I don't expect you to. I've got it here, because I'm always carving here. A couple of these teeth here must have hit the screw on the jaw horse. Yeah, a couple teeth on the one side are a little whacked and jacked. Hope you guys are doing good this Sunday. We're going to be carving up some cardinals here in just a moment. I don't know if anybody's ever used a file guide like this from Steel. They're pretty easy. Once you kind of figure it out, all you got to do is keep flipping it. I'm getting both sides. That tooth is messed right up. There we go, that's a little better. Back here, one more, 2 more times. Those are done. What's going on? What's going on? We got 7 people hanging out. Thanks for being here, guys. If you're here hanging out, you're watching, you're gonna hang till we start carving. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. It'll help the YouTube algorithm get the video out to more people. I'm gonna have to get a new carving chain on this guy soon. This one's getting. Don't work too hard, Mikey. Well, this one's pretty. Checking the teeth here. I know this one. Pretty sure I hit this one last time. Help my dad move. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Ain't gonna mess with that carving one. So the MSA 200 is running a 300 battery. All right, the AP 300. What's going on, Karen? Thanks for being here. So running the AP 300 and the MSA 200. The MSA 220, we're running the AP 300S. A little more power, a little more runtime. And my MSA 160, when I got this, Steel offered an AP 160 battery. I don't believe they offer that anymore. You can get like the 200, 300, 300S, and then you can get a 500. But I'm not sure the 500s work with these smaller saws. I think they're just meant for the new 300, MSA 300. So I know we're doing a lot of talking here. Give me just a minute, guys. We are going to grab a chunk of wood there. and hopefully make something. Let's see here. What are we gonna do first? I gotta get some cardinals going. So that is currently the plan. If you guys watched the video with the steel MS 500i from yesterday, I was milling up a large pine log, just kind of freehand milling. That's what a bunch of these chunks are actually from. And off screen behind you guys, I got a whole stack of wood from that large log, just kind of set up and ready to go. So I'm able to, you know, get to it. You know what I forgot though? I forgot my dust mask. Give me 1 second, Karen. I'll get back to you. I gotta grab my mask, you guys. There it is. Left it in the shop. Even though I'm running battery saws, I like to wear a mask, earmuffs. Sometimes that dust will get to you, get hacking and coughing. Are the battery saws lighter in weight? You know, by the time you put a battery in it and you put oil in it, Karen, you're pretty close. I mean, you can look up steelusa.com and like really compare. But after running them a while, they feel very close in weight, to be honest. What up, guys? Chainsaw chaps. What's a good battery saw for cheaper? A cheaper battery saw? You know, a lot of times the answers to these questions all come in preference. I'm a firm believer in this kind of stuff, that you get what you pay for. So if you are looking for a cheap thing to do, you know, crazy stuff, you may have to work harder to get, you know, crazy outcomes with cheaper tools. With that said, it's not always the case, right? I run die grinders from Harbor Freight. By running die grinders from Harbor Freight, I have 5 die grinders set up with 5 different bits. So when I'm getting into detail work, I don't have to keep swapping bits. I can just keep working. When it comes to chainsaws, I like to get what I pay for. So, you know, I don't want to buy, personally, I'm not looking to buy a cheaper saw and then deal with issues or not being able to find a dime tip bar, really having to do a lot of modifications to make that saw do what I want. I know with steel products, I can purchase different sprockets, different bars, different chains, and I can make different combinations work, and I can make that saw do what I want. I also know I can buy aftermarket parts, and I can buy OEM parts readily available to fix that saw. If you go with a cheaper unit, the real thing that comes into play is when it breaks down, is there somebody that can work on it? Can you work on it? Can you get the parts you need to maintain and fix that unit? So, you know, when people say, hey, well, what's a cheap way to get into carving? That's why I always suggest the Steel MS 170, which is a battery saw, or a gas saw. If you want a cheap battery unit to get into, I see a bunch of people starting with the MSA 70 or the MSA 60, which runs on the AK line. So it's the homeowner AK battery line. That's still not a really cheap entry level, though. That's still pretty expensive. Even compared to the Pro line that I run. You know, the Pro line that I run, I think the MSA 220 is around 4 something, no batteries, no charger. 200, you're just below that, no battery, no charger. 160, I think you're, I don't know, 280, 300 and something dollars, no battery, no charger, you know. And then you got to buy, you want to buy at least a 300 battery, or the 300S. A 300 battery costs you around $300. A 300S is close to $400. Then the charger is anywhere from $80 to $150. So like that charger there, I think I've got the 300 series, so I paid around $100 for that charger. You know, getting into this stuff is not a cheap thing. You can, though, get into those AK line. So, you know, they will, I've seen people using those for detail work and smaller carvings. They're going to cut slower. The run times are going to be close, maybe a little bit less, but, you know, that would put you still in a steel lineup. Other than that, you know, steel's what I run, so that's what I have the most information on, but you'd really have to do some more research if you wanted to find something cheaper. On the same point of a cheap entry-level battery saw, I see people running the DeWalt's. If you already have DeWalt drills, you could buy a DeWalt chainsaw. Can you get different chains and bars and all that? I have no idea. I see people running, what is it, the Makita, not Milwaukee, so it's Makita chainsaws for detailing and carving. Plenty of people put detail bars on those, different chains, different things. I don't know where you get all that stuff to customize that saw, but if you run those power tools, you already have batteries for that saw. So those are other options, you know, to make those things happen. I know Rigid had a chainsaw out for a little while. If you have Rigid batteries, you could try it. But, you know, for me, the big question is, okay, it gets you started, but where are you going to go with your next step? You know, are you wasting a lot of money on your first step and realizing your next step, you need a whole different setup? So I'm always, you know, trying to think of like what's my next step as far as purchasing tools or saws. You know, am I going to be happy, example, with the AK line. If I know I'm only going to do small carvings and that's all I'll ever do, then I'll be happy with that. Or do I know I'm going to use that specifically for detail work and that's it? Yeah, Barry. So, you know, your neighbor's got a battery saw. Setting up to get started, you know, you spend $200, you get an MS 170 gas saw. To start up with an MSA 70, which I don't have those, they're the AK line. You can buy that as a kit, MSA 170, or yeah, MSA 70, which is a smaller battery saw through steel. And I think you're in the threes, mid to high 300s, and you get the saw, a battery, and a charger. Can you block small carvings with it? I'm not really sure. I mean, if the channel does well this year, maybe I'll purchase one and we'll see how it performs. I know there's plenty of other carvers that I know who do amazing work, and they'll use the MSA 70 for detail though. So if they're able to do that, that tells me they can put a dime tip bar on the MSA 70, not 170, 70, and they do their furring and detail work with that saw. Now that saw is going to be lighter than the ones that I'm running. It's a smaller battery, it's a more compact saw, so I could definitely see the benefits of that specifically for detail work. As far as blocking goes though, maybe, you know, if you're doing cardinals and little stuff, you're not going to get a ton of runtime out of something like that though, if you're on it making big long cuts, you know, to block things out. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. If you guys have more questions, you know, feel free, keep asking. I'll do my best to answer. I've studied up on some of this stuff. I don't know everything, but I try to keep myself informed so I know, you know, what it is I want for my next step, or to be able to offer you guys as well, so you guys have an idea where to go with it. Dime tip bar on that one. There's one. We're gonna block out a bunch of them, and they'll probably sit, honestly, before I get into detail work with power tools. But all chainsaw, right? If you guys are here hanging out, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Help this YouTube algorithm share my video so we can get some more viewers. First time here, be sure to hit subscribe for me. And I think I've got some channel merch attached as well. If you guys want to get some hoodies, t-shirts, coffee cups, stickers, that kind of cool stuff. Now, I'm not super happy about this. We'll see how this turns out as it dries. Lots of moisture right there. That side of the log must have been the side that was on the ground. So we'll let it dry out. We'll see how it is. If we have to make adjustments when we do detail work, then we will. But yeah, basic shape, beaks cut in, basic feathering is there. All that'll get cleaned up probably in a day or two with the die grinders. Got to use the dime tip bar though. Blocked this guy out a couple days ago. I just want to add whatever detail I can with the chainsaw, and then we'll carve up another one. Try to get a bunch of them ready to go for the power tools before I actually get into the power tools. How's it going, Rick? Started carving 5 years ago with a stock MS 180. That saw has made you good money for a small investment. Of course, you run other tools, but one saw. Yeah, you stay safe as well, man. Absolutely. You know, if you do the proper maintenance, obviously, things can run a long time. It always, you know, you're going to get people, like if you guys see my channel and you'll see comments, or if you see my other channel, Kyle's Chainsaw Rescue, I like steel, but it doesn't mean like I wouldn't run Husqvarna. If somebody were to bring me Husqvarna, say, hey, try this out, I would try it out by all means. There are a couple things as far as it goes as like working on them that I'm not a huge fan about. Same thing with Echo saws. You know, I've never ran one, but I would if somebody had them set up and was like, hey, why don't you carve with these and try them out? I'm always open to that stuff. But when it comes down to like what you said right here though, this 180 lasting and making you money, that 180 is a great choice. So if you guys are new, right, and you're like, hey, what kind of saw could I get? Right there, you can get a steel MS 180. It's a step up from the 170. You could still put a quarter pitch sprocket. You could still put a dime tip bar with carving chain on it. And you could have one saw that you just swap bars back and forth for small pieces. So you could get a 14-inch quarter pitch bar and a 12-inch dime tip bar with the correct chains after you put a quarter pitch sprocket on that 180. And you could just like Rick said, you can make a boatload of money in 5 years and have just one chainsaw. I have a chainsaw problem. Just, you guys can't see it all, but I have a chainsaw problem. So you don't need all the saws that I have in order to create art. Whoa! Watch you guys. Hey, now we're back. No, we're not. Hold on. Stand by. Going for a roller coaster ride. Hopefully you guys are still here. That's why I try not to touch the phone. Good gravy. That went nuts, huh? But yeah, hopefully that'll, you know, kind of encourage you guys. I'm always open, you guys, too, to like help me out with saws and things like that. You can always comment in videos. I try to get back to you the best that I can. Life's busy, you know, it's crazy. That's why I've just been doing live feeds, to be honest, on weekends. Got some cool carvings coming up here pretty soon once we get a little bit more frequent with the warmer weather. Right now, though, I'm working on smalls. I have some events coming up. I'm actually going to be carving live in Saratoga Springs, New York at the Saratoga City Center, March 23rd and 24th. It's that Saturday and Sunday. So in case I'm off by one day, it's March 23rd, 24th, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be there carving live, though. I believe there's a fee to get into it. It's a woodworking event, Northeastern Woodworker Show. I'll be there with the battery saws and some power tools, and I'll have art for sale as well, that whole thing. It should be pretty good. So we'll have, I think there's going to be, we'll see. I don't want to jump the gun. Might have a couple other cool things at that event, but we'll see what happens. Other than myself being there, you'll have bowl turners, pen turners. There's a whole display area of custom furniture and carvings. You can get exotic lumber, epoxy, carving tools, all that kind of stuff. It's a really great event if you guys are in that area. So something for you guys to check out. Let's again, if you guys are here hanging out, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share the live feed if you want. We are gonna detail this, and then we're gonna carve up another one. Also, guys, feel free to comment where you are located. I'm in upstate New York. And yeah, feel free to share where you guys are at. There's this guy, Alberta, Canada. Fort Myers, Florida. North Georgia. Ocala. Alberta, Canada. You guys are from all over. That's awesome. So chainsaw work. This one is dried out, but we're going to set this guy aside. You guys can see up there. You guys kind of can't see up here. A few blocks up here I want to get carved up. Down so easily accessible. Give me 1 minute, guys. We'll make this one face the other way. Looks like I gotta see if I can text somebody back on my handy watch. Anybody have a smartwatch? You ever use a smartwatch and you feel like that detective back in the day, Dick Tracy, right? You get to go do all this cool stuff now. Let me see. Tough part is trying to write on it. Oh, I wonder if I can carving live right now on YouTube. Everything okay? We plan to be up at 3. Hey, cool. Typed it out for me. Well, that worked. Let's see how that goes. That's neat. I don't pay for the service of the watch, but if you just Bluetooth sync it to your phone, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. What time we got? 27. All right. So we're gonna do another Cardinal. Cardinals have been selling like crazy. Crazy. What sealer do I use? So these smalls, I've been selling small Cardinals, like that one in the background, for like 65, 70 bucks, okay? I can barely keep up, so we might be going up to $70, $75 each. We'll see. We might wait till next year and just keep pumping them out. Those are getting painted, and they're going out the door as is. If somebody places an order, though, and is like, hey, can I get a double or a triple in a tree? This is what I'm putting on them for clear coat. Give them 2 coats. Let that first one dry, let that second one dry, send it out the door, let them know to recoat it. And then just doing that. Big carvings, I will use the Minwax Helmsman, and I'll brush it on though, let it soak in, and do several coats for a large custom order. Like if somebody's spending $400 or $500 plus, then we'll get a gallon of that, we'll brush on. Anywhere from 2 to 4 coats, kind of just depends on how the wood accepts the clear. Usually when people are paying that much, I want to make sure that it's well protected. Appreciate you guys being here watching. Hanging out. Let's see what we can do here. It's always tricky, right? All the Cardinals get facing the same way. You got to try to flip it around, got to face it the other way. Well, that's the plan. Again, it'll get cleaned up with power tools at a later date. Let them sit for a couple days, dry out some. Actually, I gotta trim that base up a little bit. Try not to have too much excessive wood on the bottom of the little one. I gotta be able to fit them in totes when I do craft fairs and stuff. Carry as much as I can with me for the least amount of space. See if we can't squeeze the short fat one in here. What you guys got going on? 20 people watching, 8 thumbs up. Thanks guys if you're here hanging out. Be sure to hit subscribe. Give me a thumbs up on this live feed. Jack, what do I use to sharpen my chains? I use files. I do it by hand. I also use the file guide from Steel. Figure out what bar and chain, figure out what bar you got, so you figure out what chain you got, and then match and get the proper guide. Yep, let's see here. Stand by. I've got somebody else I gotta. It's a busy day. People messaging me. And of course, it's people I've got to respond back to. Or calling me, I should say. Let's see. Hopefully I'm not freezing up on you guys. Hey, no problem, Lisa. I'm glad I can help out. I mean, there's always moisture. Wood, like if you were to cut slabs and air dry them, wood only dries 1 inch per year. So if you're carving a big log, it's never going to dry out before it rots. You could have them put in a kiln, but that's not even worth it. Your question is, how dry do I like it before I start to carve? I'll carve whatever. I don't really check the moisture. I prefer to not carve right when it's cut because the sap is flowing free. You get covered in sap, soaked, it's nasty, and then the saws are a mess. So what I've been trying to do, if you have the space, I have a spot for it, is I'll set up an area. I'll put down 4x4s or small logs I'm not going to use. I'll get an order of big logs, usually from my brother-in-law. He'll dump them and I'll roll those out, remove all the bark. I've got a video on here doing it, and then I'll let those sit. The only thing is those need to be carved within 2 years. Otherwise, they start to get a lot of rot after 2 years. Even in that time frame, you can still have wood beginning to deteriorate. So, you know, it's important to put down, like, I put down pressure treated 4x4s usually, 10 footers, and then I roll the logs up on those, keep them separate, let them air dry, get the bark off. Bark helps keep some bugs away, but not all. But yeah, the other thing that I'll do is, like, you guys just saw the video Saturday. If you watched it, we took a big 2.5 foot round log at about 5 feet long, and I cut lengths with the 500i, and basically made these blocks. Some are square. The square ones are behind you guys, for carving. So those have now sat since, I think that was Tuesday. Give me 1 second here, guys. Let me see. Hey, I'm live on YouTube right now. If it's an emergency, just shoot me a text. God, I love this watch. Makes life easier. Or let me know, and I'll get off YouTube. Hopefully that goes through. Yeah, we get wood borer beetles. They tend to get in all kinds of stuff. I tend to carve yellow pine. That's what I carve the most. Give me 1 second, guys. This is probably going to freeze. I'm going to try to come back to you, but stand by. Should be back. Are we back? I think we're back. Wood borer beetles. So the other thing you can do, right, peel the bark off that wood. You can get borax in warm water in a pump sprayer. Mix that borax in, read it for that kind of stuff, and it'll help some against bugs, but you can spray those logs down. You know, that'll help a little bit against some of those wood bugs, those carpenter bugs that get in your logs and in your pieces. I'll do that. I know pieces are gonna sit. Like, I've got some stuff that I've milled. I've sprayed it down with borax last year. Once snow melts and it gets a little warmer, I'll probably go through with the pump sprayer and spray it again with borax. From what I understand, all I'm talking about is like the borax you use for like laundry detergent and laundry soap, not the there's an acid one, but you can use that other one. I believe, from what I understand, it's like a high salt content sort of thing. The bugs will eat it, and then it just basically dehydrates them and they die. So I'll use that. The stuff I'm using, it's not harmful to animals or people or anything like that. It just kind of helps keep the bugs off the logs. Sometimes. Everything is always, sometimes. Alrighty. Let's see here. A few more minutes, guys. We'll carve up a little bit smaller cardinal, and if we have time, maybe we'll do something else after. Let's see.
Appreciate you guys being here. If you're hanging out watching, be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit subscribe to the channel, guys. I do appreciate it. That's not a steal. We were talking about chainsaws earlier. Sane Logic sent me this for a review. I got a video or two on it. It's an alright little thing. Pain in the butt though with the guard on there. Can't really use the tip of the bar very well. Didn't want to modify it. I'll have to modify it, but here's my steel little GTA 26. This has been modified, so you make yours look like this. You avoid warranty and safety's in your own hands. Fun little saw. A little bit cheaper than the big one, but it's not always practical. You work a little bit faster when you got this big saw, you know. Alright, so this Cardinal is quite a bit smaller than the ones we just did. Chainsaw worked alright. The beak is there, a little tough to see with the bluing, but that'll get detailed up with the Saburrtooth burrs and the die grinder. You know, you'll use one of these and zippity-doo-dah, clean it up. So compared to this guy, alright, there's our size difference. One of the first ones we did, and then this one we did. You don't have as many scrap trash pieces as you guys think if you're a new carver.
You just got to get a dime tip bar and a little bit of practice. Get that muscle control so you can carve up different stuff. Being able to control the chainsaw is a big, a big deal. The more you can do with the saw, the more stuff you're able to put out in the long run. Well, I've been on for about an hour. Got a bunch of work to do, but I'm gonna jump off this live feed. I've had, my phone's been blowing up since I've been live today, so I better see what's going on. I appreciate everybody that's been here, though. I really do, guys. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit that bell, hit all if you guys haven't done that yet. Also, check out the channel merch. It's usually got a bar below or in the description of the video. We got some new Keep Gripping and Ripping t-shirts with some chainsaws on them. I'm going to be working on some more colors, but if you want to get that first run, be sure to check those out. I really appreciate you guys hanging out today, and I'll see you guys later.